I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX, and welcome back to First Callouts. This is a show for all you competitors out there, whatever divisions you're doing. I'm talking about them all, where I'm going to teach you how to get into that first callout. Alright, today we're going to talk about bikini competitors and getting that glute ham tie, what you need, what you don't, what exercises, how does it actually come up. All these different things. We're going to cover that today. Please make sure you do me a favor, alright? When you get something out of this video, which I promise you that you will, you share the video out, you subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, a comment, let me know what you think, let me know what you want to know more of. Thank you for watching. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX, and this is First Callouts. Alright, so we're going to dive right on in here. We're talking about the bikini division, and we're talking about the glute ham tie, okay? So even if you're not a bikini competitor and you're a woman who's training, you probably know what the glute ham tie is, because it is a sought-after type thing that many women want to have when they're training with weights, but especially competitors, because they got in their head that it's something that's actually scored. And I'm going to tell you right now, ladies, sorry to tell you, I know Sandy Williamson, head NPC IFBB judge, the women's division head judge. She says it's not something that is super scored, that you need to worry about having a deep V showing ham tie. There's many women, in fact, if you go look at your top Olympians, that do not show that on stage whatsoever, okay? So it's not a scored thing. That's the first thing you need to understand, you competitors out there. The glute ham tie is not a make or break for you. What they're looking for in your division is proper symmetry, shape, size, proportion, and conditioning with great presentation. That's overall. That doesn't come down to just the glute ham tie or anything else. It's not going to be the make or break. What could be bad is if it's not in proper condition, okay? So if you can clearly see some little fat rolls or things like that going on, that's going to affect your scoring. However, they're not trying to see the deep V cut of, you know, a glute ham tie coming in, okay? So that's the first thing I want to say about this. Ladies, if you're in bikini or, you know, you want to get the ham tie, you can. It's probably not going to hurt you, but sometimes it actually can, because it can show that you're a little bit too lean, okay? So we're going to talk a bit about this today. We're also going to talk about the fact that, you know what, there is no specific exercises to build this muscle. Contrary to what a lot of people want to tell you, or a lot of bikini pros or whatever want you, to buy their glute ham tie program, there is no such thing as a glute ham tie specific exercise. And now I'm going to say this one more time, ladies. There is no specific thing as a glute ham tie specific exercise, okay? Here's what happens, and here's how you develop an actual glute ham tie. Glute ham tie is where the glutes come into the hamstring, okay? So the glute muscle is developed, and it comes into a developed hamstring. Now, this is happening at all scales of glute development, no matter what you got. This is going to happen at a micro level. What happens is, on these competitors where you see a very defined glute ham tie, it's a combination of the fact that they built the glute muscle very well, all the way top to bottom, and they've developed the hamstring muscle very well, top to bottom. Therefore, that's going to show already more pronunciation, right? It's going to have more projection, in other words, forward, and then what happens is they get the right level of conditioning, okay? And again, this is why I said it can actually hurt you sometimes if you're showing too much glute ham tie, because it can show for the bikini division that you're actually too lean, okay? But basically what happens is the glute ham tie is a combination of building the right muscle and then also bringing in the conditioning. So if you're not even a competitor and you just want to have this for whatever reason, it's just something you've always wanted to develop in your physique, that's how you get it. Building glutes, building hamstrings, and getting the right level of conditioning so that you can see it, okay? But like I just said, there is no specific exercise for this, so you can't just go do, okay, I'm going to do 800 of these, 800 of that, and that's going to get me the glute ham tie because it's the glute ham tie muscle exercise. No, there is no glute ham tie muscle. We're talking about two different muscles and then the right level of conditioning. And so what actually does help pronunciate this and help bring this through is the fact that if you well develop your glutes and well develop your hamstrings, your hamstrings, it's going to show better through when you're conditioned, because you'll have more of that projection going on, more just shape and size overall, which makes it easier for it to pop through lower body fat percentages. However, even just being extremely lean, right, and not even having a ton of muscle development in the glute or the hamstring will show a glute ham tie. And this is also why it's not something that's necessarily scored in bikini. It's not something that really should be paid attention to much, and the judges are not paying attention to it that much at all. They're looking for, in your divisions, proper shape, size, symmetry, and proportion. Upper to lower body, that's what they want to see. They want to see that presented well, and they want to see it presented in the right light that makes you look the most symmetrical, the most shapely, and shows that you have, the right level of development. However, the glute ham tie is not the make or break for that. Like I said, if you look at your top Olympians from 2019 call-out in bikini division, you will not find very defined deep ham ties at all. You won't, and that's an indicator of exactly how they're scoring this division and exactly what they want to see at the pro and at the amateur level. And unfortunately, a lot of competitors are coming into this, and their coaches are hammering the glute ham tie. You see a lot of influencers that you think have it because they have their well-filtered, progress photos on the internet. The truth is, how they look on stage, it's not what you're seeing on Instagram. It's not what you're seeing in the well-lit photos and things like that. Even on stage, what the judges are actually seeing is a softer version of what you get in the pictures, because the pictures make competitors look even harder, okay? So if we're talking about bikini, we're talking about the fact that you got to have your shape, your size, your symmetry, and proportion right, but these things like the glute ham tie, they're not the make or break for any of you bikini competitors.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where. I need to
I've actually done interviews with Sandy Williamson, the head of NPC IFBB judge of women's division, and I've asked her straight up, hey, what about this glute ham tie? This is something I know that a lot of girls wonder about, a lot of girls talk about. Is this something they need? And she has straight up told me no. She said only this. She said basically that, you don't want to see it be unconditioned. It should be a tight area, but it's not something they need to see the actual ham tie with. And what she means by this is, if you got fat rolls going on back there, they know overall you're not in the right level of conditioning. However, having a tight presentation there does not come from your posing either. And this is something you really want to know, ladies. I know a lot of women out there are trying to pose in bikini and really arch their back and stick their butt back and do all this stuff to try to show their glute ham tie. Well, actually that ends up hurting you more than anything, because a lot of times you're throwing your posing off, okay? This is what a lot of competitors don't understand. Judges are sitting below you. They're literally sitting down looking up. And so what they're doing while you're in your back pose is assessing your physique from the upper to lower body. They're looking at your shoulders, they're looking at your back coming in. They're not looking at the muscularity, but they're looking at that shape, okay? They want to see the shape. Now what they want to see for the best scoring in bikini is also that shape be matched and mirrored down in the lower body. So your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, right? The amount of quads you can see from the back, all that comes into play here. But what the main thing is they want to see the hourglass shape. That was something that's been hammered home recently more than ever in all the Olympia callouts and so on and so forth. But that's something they want to see all the time. So the hourglass in the back pose looks like this. Shoulders coming into a tapered physique, tapered waist, in other words, widening back out into well-developed glutes, quads, hamstrings, etc., right? So they're actually looking at the shape upper to lower. But what happens is you girls bend too far forward, trying to really show off your hamstring, or maybe you are lacking a little bit of tightness back there and you're trying to make sure it doesn't show. Well, what happens is now you've dipped your upper body forward, right? And if you're a judge looking up from a downward angle at that back pose, now it's massively out of proportion, right? You sometimes can lose the whole upper body, or even if you didn't lose all of it, you narrowed it. Like, it's definitely narrowed, and now you got really wide lower body development, really wide at the glutes, and narrowing at the upper body, which is not what they want to see if they're trying to get this hourglass shape, right? So the posing don't try to pose for a glute ham tie. Don't try to bring that through. It's not something that's scored, and you're gonna hurt yourself, trying to show that. Even if you're a little bit out of condition, okay? Even if you are maybe showing some of these fat rolls and things like that on the glute ham tie area, I would suggest that you still hit the pose correctly, because that's going to often help you score better than if you're too far forward, even if you tighten the area up trying to really extend through it. And again, they're not looking for hamstrings. They're not looking for the glute ham tie. They're looking for the proper shape, size, symmetry, and proportion in this division that's going to give you the best scoring and the best criteria. So hitting your pose in a way that shows that better, even if you're a little bit out of condition in specific areas, it happens, it's probably going to result in you scoring actually better than if you bent too far forward trying to tighten up your legs and do all this random wizardry that's not actually going to pay off in the end. Being said, I know a lot of ladies out here saying, okay, you're saying there's no glute ham tie muscle, I get it, there's no specific exercise for it, but what can we do anyway to bring it through? Because I know that's what's going through all your heads right now. A lot of you are going to probably say, well, you know what, that's not actually true, these judges did it this way, but come on now, we're talking about Sandy Williamson. She's top of the whole organization for the women's divisions. She knows what she's talking about. She dictates the standard for what the judging will become. And if she's saying that it's not important, you can bet that everybody else is saying that it's not important, unless they just don't have the right experience or whatever. But the point is, what you got to do if you want to develop a glute ham tie to some degree, because you want to show a little bit of it. You don't need the deep whatever in bikini, right? You don't need to show each part all the way into your hamstrings. It's not important. But you do want to see a little bit of lines here and there sometimes on compares. It can make a difference, right? It depends on the physique. That's one thing you got to note about everything I'm saying. It all depends on who it is, how it looks, how the rest of their physique looks. You're never going to make or break a placing on a glute ham tie. That's just not how it's going to work. It's going to be the best overall package is the one that's going to win these shows. But the point is, here's what you need to do if you want to target the lower glute, okay? If you want to target the lower glute and the full hamstring, you basically want to do specific exercises that are going to go and work the full range of motion. And what I mean by this is you're not going to go train something for a glute ham tie, but you can train your glutes really good and train your hamstrings really good, and then when you bring the right level of conditioning, that'll come through, right, if it needs to. If you want that, then you're not a competitor, or maybe you are, bring it through. That's how you would do it. Training your glutes very well, developing them, training your hamstrings very well, developing them, and then getting the proper level of conditioning through cardio or through dieting or whatever it takes to get you down to that level, then you're going to show that stuff. And so exercises you should do, you should really take into consideration all parts of the glute, right? We got all these different muscles in the glute and other adductors in the hip and so on and so forth that help to shape you. What you want to do is make sure that you're paying attention to these things. You're training them smartly. You don't think that like squats are the best glute developer out there, right? Because that's what a lot of women do. They go out into this and they're trying to do so many squats or leg presses, and it's just really not things that are beneficial for the glute at all. It's more so just training the overall lower body. You want to actually do some specific isolation work, lateral cable kicks, kickbacks, single leg glute bridges, hip thrusts, things like this that are going to target the full amounts of glute. One of the exercises that I really like to suggest for a lot of bikini competitors that need to really get the overall round shape all the way down to the bottom of their glutes is GHD, glute ham raise, glute ham developer, right? The thing where you lock your legs in and you're dropping down, coming back up. Those things are massive, epic for bikini competitors. Stiff leg deadlifts, things like that coming into the hamstrings, any kind of deadlift really, single leg deadlifts, cable pull throughs, all these different things are going to target the hamstrings, and this is how you're going to get it. You got to build these areas, you got to develop them well, which means train hard and recover. And then once you have that right, then when it comes time to prep and bring in your conditioning, it's going to be there. You're going to be ready to go. You'll be at the proper level. You're going to have the proper level of tightness in this area, not necessarily showing a deep V split because that's going to score you down, but you're going to have the right level of conditioning and the right shape and the size for your whole division, and that's how you're going to score your best. That's how you're going to get where you want to go. If you want to go to nationals, you want to become a pro, whatever it is, it's going to come from showing the best full example overall of what your division stands for, and in this case, we're talking about bikini. You got to fit the criteria of bikini. Don't try to make your own criteria for bikini. The amount of competitors out there that do this, or coaches that try to say this and that, I've never done that a day in my life. I've never pretended that I'm out here trying to shape this division. I'm out here trying to take the information that I know the judges want to see in this division and give it all to you. Help you all get where you want to be. Help you ladies get the best physique so you can do your best in the sport and go take it as far as you want, because that's the goal at the end of the day, right? Everybody wants to go as far as they want to take it. And so if this video was helpful to you, if you want more help, go to TeamFFLEX.com right now and you can subscribe to our free trial. It's a pop-up that will come at you. All you got to do is drop your email in, and me or one of my coaches will set you up. We'll help you figure out, hey, here's how you need to program your exercise. This is a totally free trial, by the way. You don't need to pay anything. No putting cards info in, nothing. You're not going to pay at the end of the trial. You know, like some of these things are on the internet. Absolutely not. You don't have to pay anything, not even a cent. It's totally free, and you can get in there and get some experience from some world-class coaches on here's what you do, here's how you do it, here's how you could optimize your training, here's what you need for your physique, here's a physique assessment. We do this all for free because we want to get back, we want to help. So go to TeamFFLEX.com right now and you can subscribe to our free trial, and me or one of my coaches, we will get you set up within the next 24 hours, I guarantee you. Whenever you sign up for this, wherever you're watching this, we'll be there to help you out. That's our goal, that's what we want to do. So hopefully you learned something today, ladies, about the glute ham tie, what it is, what it's not, and honestly how you don't need to worry about it too much. It's not being scored, it's not being judged. What you do got to worry about is the whole rest of your physique. That's the main thing. The really important part of this is understanding that, hey, you know what, it's not going to be just the glute and the hamstring that ever are going to win you the competition. It's actually going to be everything. And if you bring a really well overall, well-rounded physique to the stage, that's exactly how you get first callouts. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. Thank you for watching. Coach Ryan is out.
I think I'm playing chess, I see a king, I'm at his neck. I'm 3 steps ahead at every move, now that's a check. Yes, they wanna know my secret.